back to All About Arsenal, and tonight I'm here with OK. We're going to have a nice match reaction stream where our focus will just be on what happened in the game between Arsenal and Fulham. Going into the international break, Arsenal were on top, had a couple of players that played for their respective nations, but thankfully no one got injured. So before we go to the game proper, let's just backtrack a bit. Okay, what are your thoughts on Liverpool dropping points to Crystal Palace and we winning our own game going into the international break at the top of the league?
Man, can never be better. Hey, before that game, I was hoping for a draw at least. From Palace and Liverpool, because Palace they're the boogie team for Liverpool. So for some reason, they always get something out of the game all the time. So I was excited that they lost before that international break. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So going into this game week, we had some kind of pressure ahead of us because Manchester City beat Everton and they became on top of the table with 16 points, which meant that in addition to putting some pressure on Liverpool, we have now to be mindful of what Man City is doing. So this game was very important. So what's your take on Man City's performance so far? And do you think they are genuine title challengers this season?
Of course. Remember what I told you last time? I don't know if you can remember. I said that this Man City is I'm worried about this Man City.
Yeah, I remember when
Because
you said that.
everybody keeps talking about Liverpool, and I like they forget that Man City is a big team, and they forget Man City spent a lot of money buying
Mhm.
players last summer, even last January transfer. So for some reason, I don't know, maybe because they've been losing, and all of a sudden they're not title contenders anymore. So finally, I was not happy when they brought that keeper, Donnarumma.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was,
you're like a game changer for them, man.
and that thing lifted their spirits. It was as if they brought a superhero. You
I
know,
swear. I agree with you. Okay, so
so
mhm.
he's the main person, and Holland has hit form. Probably best form of his life,
Yeah,
and it's a big
is
problem.
phenomenal.
You
Yeah.
know, I noticed they still don't have that best defense, but there's hope. Hopefully Liverpool, Man City. I don't know. Anything can happen. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's look at the lineups on the day. Fulham decided with Ben Lennon, former Arsenal player in goal. Sessegnon played left back. Timothy Castagna played right back because Tete was injured. It was surprising to see Cuenca play alongside Anderson.
Yeah,
Sanderberg, played with Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny has not played in a very long time. And of course, Iwobi, King, and Wilson with our Jimenez in attack. So, what were your thoughts on Fulham's formation? Actually, we talked before the man that Jimenez was injured and he just showed up.
yeah. I knew there were going to be a lot of changes for them. Due to injuries and international. Their main back four kind of like they were out.
Yeah.
And I knew this guy Bassi probably wouldn't start because of international.
The
Just came
ejection
back
in
to
the
it.
international
Yeah.
league, yeah.
But, they can't do without Iwobi, of course. He's the main player that makes that midfield tick. So,
So,
and he played very well today. So, but their lineup, wasn't that bad still, but because they actually did well defending, against Arsenal today.
yeah, yeah.
And
So,
we couldn't break that line back, but we have our own problems too as well.
I
I
agree.
think everybody were kind of like retired.
Yeah, yeah, quite good too. So I know there was that discussion in the group where someone was saying that they had players on international break, but everyone did because this is the Premier
Yeah,
League. You would expect that the teams in the league will have players representing their nations. Even looking at the lineup, it's very evident that they had a couple of players that featured for their nations. As for Arsenal, I think the only change was basically AJ in for Odegaard. Were there any other people you expected to start the game besides the current lineup we saw?
um, because it was Fulham, I knew how important that game, this game was. So because of last season.
Mhm.
And I wanted this first 11, but also I think I needed, you know, Arteta to, I wanted the manager to make some changes, very early in the game, maybe like 60 minutes, or, put new players. Because we have Champions League on Tuesday with
Yeah, Atletico.
Atletico. Yeah, so, but I'm guessing, because we didn't score a lot of goals in the first half, that's why that happened. So, and I mean, this guy, not a lot of changes because no God, just got back from injury, so I wasn't expecting
Mhm.
him to start. St. Cappy too.
Yeah,
So that front line, I mean, main players are out injured. Almost everybody, Kai and Madueke. So the only change was man, what is his name, Merino,
Eze,
but him too
Merino. Yeah,
played during the week. So there's nobody unless you want to put one area and that other young boy. So I mean it was fine.
yeah, I agree with you on that. So I'm just trying to get the exact quote that Mikel Arteta said about Victor Gyökeres going into the game. And there was so much, in quotes, drama around him, bearing in mind that he has not scored in his last 6 games for the club. And when you now add the fact that they have been forced game from Sweden as well, with maybe 10 games he has not scored yet. Do you think he's playing under some kind of pressure right now?
Yeah, he is. He's playing against himself. He's trying to prove himself so bad that he's not mentally sharp, kind of, because he's doing everything right, but not scoring. If you take out his positioning, his the way he strikes the ball anytime he gets the chance, everything is just perfect. Just he hasn't been scoring, and I get it. For a striker like that, he wants to prove a point at all costs, but it's not happening for him. But he needs to just calm down. That's all I'm saying. So that pressure he needs. Reason why he's not scoring is because it's under pressure by himself. I don't think the fans are really worried about, but like that. But his work rate is what I'm looking at for now. He's doing great. I mean, he's chasing all the balls, he's doing everything, causing problems for the defenders. So I can't
Yeah,
complain.
so I understand you. I understand where you're coming from, but when you
Hmm.
think of the fact that strikers are judged on goals,
Yeah.
don't you think the jury should be out for him? Because if you remember, he came into this club with a very strong repertoire, 97 goals in 102 games. He also won the Muller Trophy, and we had not had a striker like him since Aubameyang. So the expectations were very high, and it's not a
Hmm.
case of maybe we're not feeding him very well. Once in a while, he gets some half chances, but he kind of wastes them. So,
So
so
my
what?
opinion, my own take is this is a new club for him. He's gonna need time to adapt. Forget that he scored what 2, 3 goals in the beginning. Arsenal too needs time to adapt to a lone striker like that because we're not used to playing with a striker as like like you said, last time was Aubameyang. So we're used to a team that scores goals collectively, like
Yeah,
everybody scores at Arsenal. So for people to expect him to score 20, 30 goals for one player at Arsenal, usually Arsenal share all the goals, players share the goals each other. So I knew this kind of thing will happen because it kind of happened to Kai now, if you can remember, but
hmm.
I believe this guy Yokeres will pick up, when the time is right.
Okay. So that's fine. So let's look at other players in the team. And then, so on the left wing, we've had the consistent drama between Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. And Martinelli, in the last 2 or 3 games he played as a sub, he came on and scored some very important goals. He also
Hmm.
scored for Brazil against Japan in the international break. So,
Yeah,
do you think he was not satisfied ahead of Trossard in this game, or was it okay to see him remain on the bench?
it was fine for him to remain at the bench because few goals he has scored for us, he came off the bench. So that's that plan is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Trossard to start is okay. And Martinelli, because why? He has the pace. So most times the reason why they put him second half, because most defenders will be tired then, you understand? But Trossard doesn't have that pace. So I think it's fine that we started Trossard.
It makes sense. So one other talk, our defense has remained consistent. The last 10 games we played, we considered just 3 goals. And obviously, it has been the collective work of Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber. For someone like Miles Kelly, who saw the likes of Tierney and Zinchenko leave the club and also sign a new contract, do you think he will start getting agitated for first team action, or do you think he should remain patient?
Should be patient now because I think the boy loves the club. I don't think he wants to play anywhere else. So, but he needs to be patient because, he's played for us. He started, he was starting for Arsenal by chance because we kind of lost every player for that position.
Yeah,
So, and we know what he can do. But if you can remember, he's very good at defending and going forward. But sometimes he makes some
errors.
kidding mistakes and
Yeah.
errors. So he still needs time to sharpen up, on that part. So I think he'll definitely will understand. So, and I mean, didn't he start last Champions League match and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I just look at it. Started with yeah, but that didn't get
Yeah,
started this season. I think that and Port Vale, those are the 2 games that started this season.
yeah. So it shouldn't be. I don't think he'll be agitated because Ben White is not even getting a chance. So
Mm-hmm.
so he needs. He'll. I'm sure he's calm, and there's so many games still to be played. The FA Cup and Carling. So everybody will get their chance. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not worried about him. Yeah.
And that brings me to someone like Christian Mosquera, who managed to get an exceptional run out of games when Saliba was out injured, and he really impressed us. But just after that mistake he made against Newcastle, where he played the ball out for a corner that led to the goal. He was subbed at halftime, and he hasn't featured since then. So do you think his confidence is currently rocked, or should we
No,
just
I
wait for
don't.
this
I
opportunity
don't
to
think
develop?
so. So this team now is set up for you know to counter all the issues we had last season.
Yeah.
We can't drop from like Arteta made sure he signed the best first team, best team, and third team. So I don't see any weakness in that team. So it's unfortunate that the first team players are playing very well. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the second, I'm 100% sure the people at the bench are as good as the first team. But unfortunately, man, we can only pick 11.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, and fans as well, looking at that team, if we see any weakness in any of the first team players, there are people that will come in and take that position.
Yeah.
So right now, they know the people playing are ahead of them, slightly. So there's nothing you can do. But it's a very good headache. Imagine how many seasons we've been crying for for
A team
depths
as
like
deep as
this.
this,
So now
yeah.
even the fans are having headache because they want to see this player. We want to see this player.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
unlike before, we'll look at our bench, we won't see nobody
Yeah, true, true.
but
You see,
kids. So
you see only someone like Raheem Sterling there, and be
can you
crying.
imagine? Yeah, so man, no, it's good though. I'm very, very happy now. Now we understand what city players are enjoying. And,
True, 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 true. Yeah.
this
So
is what big teams do.
let's talk about the goal that proved to be the match winner. So talk me through the goal from how it was created and your own reaction to it.
I think, if you remember, I think ball Timber had that ball, He wanted to cross it, but I don't think he saw any good, chances in that box. And then Fulham player came and kicked it out of play.
Mm-hmm.
So man, this game was somehow, because most everybody, I didn't see any goal coming from anywhere,
Yeah, true.
honestly,
Sure.
because
So
players were
shaking.
not well coordinated. The
Mm-hmm.
defense, Fulham defense was still, was very good. The only place, trust me, from the beginning, halfway of the match, I was hoping for a corner kick at every point. I was praying for corners. I'm telling you, unlike
Yeah.
before, like I'm like I don't see us scoring, apart from
Mm-hmm.
corner kick. So these players need to do everything. It was as if Timber was waiting for that guy to come and kick
Kick
Jimenez
the
to come
ball
and
out.
kick that ball. I'm telling you, because he just trapped it and stopped and he
Yeah,
was
because
holding the ball.
yeah, and it was crowded.
Yeah. So, you know, I think the players too knew, hey, maybe we can just score from corner kick, and win this game. And that's exactly what happened. It was a good plan. Honestly, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, and this is something that has already renowned for. Has scored the most goals from set pieces. This season alone, I already scored 7 goals from dead ball situations. And to
Yeah.
see how we reacted was so good. Saka cross, Gabriel reacting first, and of course Trossard on the back post. And it just goes to show how coordinated the Arsenal is in this corner kicks. It's certainly not a fluke. It's certain that these guys work their ass in the training ground to perfect these routines. And the fact that we're seeing it play out on the pitch is a very, very good thing. Sometimes games will be so hard that you might just need to get another style of scoring. And of course, corner kick has been our own. If you remember when Stoke City used to have trains with Rory lap, all they needed to do was to get the ball to Pennant or Edrington, and as soon as he
Mm-hmm.
just gets to the player's body, he becomes a throw in, and the throw in is like
Finish.
that,
Rockets. I
like
know.
a rocket. So I'm very happy with the winner from Trossard.
So if you look at that corner, yeah, before
Mm-hmm.
that goal, how many corners did we play?
Yeah, we had like I think 3 or 4 because
Exactly.
we're changing our routine as well. There are some that
So
we're trying to
so
play short.
so if you think about it, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we played like 2 or 3 corner kicks or 4. Yeah.
Uh,
And these Fulham players knew who to mark. Gabriel and Saliba, especially King Gabriel.
yeah,
You understand? You can see how many players were on him, like 3 players. So Arsenal had to change
the
their
approach.
pattern and like, yeah, like, hey, these guys are the main key players. So I'm going to cross the ball and I'm going to head it to somewhere else to change the style. You understand? Because obviously everybody's on Gabriel. And that's why that Trossard went and scored. That's why Trossard scored because you can tell that he didn't move. He was standing at that back end
Back
of the
post.
post
Yeah.
because I feel like Gabriel or somebody told him, "Hey, I'm going to head this ball all the way back there. Just stand there and don't move." You understand? He didn't move. He was standing there all, even when they kicked the ball. Everybody, even the player, Fulham player behind him, ran in front, thinking that he
Yeah.
was going to run it, but he stood there like a statue. And the ball just came, dropped, for him.
Mhm.
That was well coordinated. That thing is not a fluke. Trust
Yeah,
me.
I agree. I agree. And it kind of also remind me of the goal that Calafiori scored against Man United at Old Trafford. It
Yeah.
was also at the back post as well. So I think teams are going to be very scared playing against us, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
penalty.
We can switch up to even connect self, So that's a good thing. You don't know what's coming. I love it.
I love it too, bro. So now let's talk about our control and our defensive solidity. So right now, we've played 11 games this season and we've conceded just 3 goals. Like, the record is unprecedented.
I know.
In all our Premier League games, no team has scored us five, giving us up to 10 attempts per game.
I
Like,
know.
it's sickening, man. Like,
As in, you don't even get shot on target, so against us. That's
yeah,
crazy.
because I know the last time I checked, we have limited almost every team that played against us to 0.5 XGC or less.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to show how Arteta has drilled this team defensively. And what trips me the most is that whoever that is coming into the team has the same mentality. You know, obviously the control was important with the likes of Declan Rice, Mendy, and Eze handling things in the middle. So let's just talk about them a bit. What was your take on Eze's performance today? I don't think he was really up to scratch.
It was not, honestly. I think maybe the international too, because he scored again, for England.
Yeah, I did Latvia.
Yeah. So, and they moved around, a lot. So they traveled. All those things are not easy. So,
Yeah, they think they are told actually though.
oh, they didn't travel this way. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know. Probably I know it's international, but he looked so kind of looked so tired. He
Yeah,
wasn't. There wasn't no.
lethargic.
He didn't have any spark like before.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of
So
shocking to see.
it's definitely something wrong with him somehow. So maybe he wasn't 100% fit mentally,
Yeah.
not physically. I'm sure he's fit physically. Maybe his head wasn't in the game like
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, but
So,
he
so,
didn't
so.
play that nice, but he didn't really play all that great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He didn't
Yeah,
play all that bad, but he didn't play all that great. We know that he can do better than that.
yeah, I agree with
So,
you. So
yeah,
let.
so
Mm-hmm.
mhm. So the defense is always solid. Can't complain about that defense. So defense did his job very well. So that's the main foundation of that team is our
Yeah,
defense.
our defense is really, really stunning. And
Mhm.
looking at the stats of the game, so we had 63% possession to Fulham's 37. We had the 1.88 XG to Fulham's 0.44. We had 16 shots to their 9. We had
Mhm.
5 shots on target to their 0. We had 3 big chances to their 0. Yeah, I remember the big chance that Gyökeres and Martinelli had late on that and then made a double save. Yeah, we had 2 big chances missed, 10 corners, 2 offsides, and a passing accuracy of 87% with 463 passes. It was very evident that Arsenal controlled this game from start to finish, and I believe that the 3 points was well deserved. I don't think Fulham deserved to even sneak a draw in that game. But knowing how the Premier League is, I've seen when a team dominate possession so much, but eventually they will end up either drawing the game or losing. So, what was your take on the way we control the game?
Man, they tried as best they can, and they controlled the game very. May I just say maybe 75%.
Yeah,
We had control because of Rice and especially Zubimendi. Zubimendi, gives that team, this sort of calmness. The guy he's just too good,
yeah, no,
you
the guy is
know.
awesome. He's awesome. He's really
Always
awesome.
calm, always, making the team not to be overly um
Pressure.
stressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Rice played very well today. You can tell that he was very tired too. He tried all his best to score, but to make sure that we score more goals. But so we had control because of Zubimendi and Rice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Majority, Eze tried, but he lost some few balls and put us under pressure. If you can remember in the first half,
Yeah.
but Zubi hardly loses, any ball, and Rice as well. Even if Rice uh, managed to lose one, his recovery is always crazy.
Very
So
good. Yeah.
yeah, so I give it to those two people, those two players, Zubi and Rice. Had really good control on our midfield, and the defense too also helped with the control. So if you could tell, we're always playing back and middle, trying to bring them, draw them out,
Yeah.
majority of the time. But the Fulham were very compact in defending. All of them were defending the ball. Saka had two players on him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they came with a good game plan and it worked. Unfortunately, we came out victorious.
Yeah. So regarding our wing play, what is your take on the relationship between Calafiori and Trossard and Timber and Saka on both flanks? Were they really effective?
Timber and Saka, we always have good relationship. Kali and Trossard, not as good as, you know, Timber and Saka. That's why we always go from their Saka side, you understand?
Yeah, we be biased towards that right hand side
I
actually.
agree. Yeah,
Okay,
you
so now
do.
let's talk about Arteta's tactics and what comes to mind are the substitutions that were made in the game. So the first substitution was done in the 62nd minute, Merino for Eze. What was the take on that substitution? Was it needed at that point in time? And do you think Merino did better than Eze when he came onto the pitch?
Yeah, of course. Now, as soon as I scored that goal, I knew all these things would change. I knew they were going to somebody's going to come in to make sure that the game was locked up, and Marino did his job. So because Marino came after the goal, right?
Yes, yes. We scored in the 58th minute. Merino came 4 minutes later.
Yeah. So that was the plan. At that time, I'm sure he knew that this team weren't going to score because of the players were not fully, you know, uh, ready because they've been out. So playing with different international, different faces, different tactics takes time to get back to rhythm. So
Yeah.
the best thing he did was to put Merino, and I was happy he even put Novgorod too. So we'll lock up the game completely, and that made
Yeah.
call it a day. So his Arteta's tactics exactly what I expected. There was no point chasing the second goal.
Yeah, I agree with you. But then again, the move for Martinelli to Trossard, that was also required because obviously Trossard was getting tired and Martinelli's fresh legs were to come into the fore. And obviously he had the opportunity where he had the rebound from the Gyökeres shot. Do you think he should
I
have done
know I
better?
missed. Yeah, should have scored.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I
was the
felt that he
plan.
was very fresh. So that was a good chance for him.
Very good chance that he missed. Imagine we're playing 0-0. He missed out. Everybody would be on social media now,
Blasting him. Yeah.
cussing him out. Everybody's calm because we won. Trust me, if we had drew that game, everybody would be on Martinelli.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so let's go through the player ratings. So I will speak out, single out the player, tell him my rating and tell you why I feel he got that rating. Then you can now decide to give your own rating and give your reasons as well. Okay, so I'll start with David Raya. He gets a 7 for me. He was relatively untested, was always he was able to dominate his box on corner kicks and different stops. And I think that was okay for me. What's your take on Raya? What do you rate him?
He didn't really do much, but he had one save from. I can't tell if that was. I think it was a cross.
Oh yeah,
If you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
remember,
The cross from what's the guy
that that
on the
black
right
boy.
flank on the
Yeah.
right wing. Yeah, yeah. That's like
Hmm.
a dipping cross. Yes, I
Yes.
remember that he put over the bar. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. That cross was dangerous as hell.
Yeah. But
So
can you recall that Mikhailo Mudrik had such a cross against him when we played Chelsea, and the ball went into the net.
exactly now.
Yeah.
So a lot of keepers, because he was busy looking to see where that ball was like, if any striker was going to head that ball. And
Mm-hmm.
then that ball can change. Uh,
Trajectory.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you.
balls balls change. So a lot of times keepers are always out of position, and anything can happen. So that was the only time I felt like he actually did something during the game. After that, mostly he was on vacation, kind of.
Like a passenger, right?
Yeah, we didn't really do anything.
Okay, now let's talk Timber. I think Timber was awesome on the right flank, right back position. He managed to attack a bit, but I think he's attacking and the attacking third. He wasn't as influential as I expected him to be, but defensively he was good. So, what was your take on Timber today?
Yeah, he did very well, defensively, but attacking wise, he didn't really create or do anything that much, unlike him.
That's very unlike
So
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
so everybody in that team, think 7 is just the appropriate ratings for him.
yeah. Same with Gabriel and Calafiori and Saliba. I think they were very, very steady in defense. And so Mendy and Rice were also very good in midfield. But the only player that had a lower rating in this team was Izzy. He gets a 6 from me. I just felt that he wasn't up to scratch. And I've actually discussed about this. I gave Saka an 8. Saka was awesome. That was supposed to be like an assist, even though Gabriel touched the ball. And he put Sessegnon on lock. He terrorized him so much, you know. And I really
Yeah,
loved his performance.
right. And Saka did very well, against the Senior. He did his put in on some crosses. I think Trossard 7 is fine because he scored that goal. No, apart from that, he didn't really do much during this
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah. He actually had one of those inconsistent games where he struggles, but he just turns up with output.
Yep.
That what makes Trossard very unique. He's a good finisher. Well, I don't know. He shouldn't be starting games. He should be coming on as a sub. But then again, Martinelli shouldn't be starting games as well. So something has to give. But
Yeah. So this Arsenal team, man, the only weakness we have is that left position.
yeah.
I'm telling you, both the starting player and the bench player, and the sub, they're okay, but they're not that great compared to the other positions that we have. So
Yeah, yeah. But
maybe,
so I'm thinking maybe if Odegaard is fully fit, Eze will probably be the one that will be manning the left wing on a permanent
I'm
basis.
telling you, it would be better. Or Madueke.
Oh yeah, I forgot Nani. Yeah, Madeke would have been very good in games like this where you so direct at players.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
he should.
you, yeah.
Yeah, we really miss that guy, and I hope he comes back
Have you
very.
noticed that sometimes when Madueke is fit, Saka sometimes moves to that position?
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah,
interchange.
yeah. Because two of them
Yes.
can actually, do the work on both ends, and that's how Saka scored against the Olympiacos as well.
Exactly. So I think that's the main plan. That's probably what we'll see when he comes back.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about what this win means. So with this victory, Arsenal are currently on 19 points in the Premier League with
I'm
15 goals.
surprised he didn't talk about the penalty.
Oh my good lord! Oh my god! See, I'm tired of here. I'm tired of this rest. What did this guy touch the ball thing? Kevin, his thigh hit Saka on his own thigh before he touched the ball in the box. And
Yeah.
and not the most ridiculous part of this all. When they were
Yeah.
doing the review, they showed 4 camera angles. I've never seen a VAR review where they split the screen in 4 places. It was just because of Arsenal. If it was Man United now, there'd have been no discussion. It would have
Yeah.
been a penalty for Bruno straight up.
I'm telling you, it would have been just one screen.
Straight up. And I'm just happy that we have been getting the results we need so that things like VAR and all those drama will not be what we talk about because I also believe that those guys at PG Mo, they love the drama, they love that spotlight being on them. Then Howard Webb will now come, make some noise and issue an apology afterwards and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the result is already done. So I
Yeah.
was shocked to see that penalty was not given. That made no sense as well.
If you remember, Newcastle did the same thing happen. And Webb came out to apologize and say, "Can you imagine if we had lost or drew that game?
You
He
get
tell you he was giving us rubbish apology."
apologies. That, that,
Last
that, that,
season, the same thing. So I think Arteta and these boys feel like figure this thing out. Like, let's not waste our time with VAR or ref. Or
yeah,
let's
yeah,
just focus on our game and make sure we score a goal that cannot be denied.
yeah.
You
Because
understand?
at
Because
this
we've
point,
had two games that they have 2 games they've sent out apology. Can you imagine
so what's the
already?
point? What's the point? Actually, what's the point? It's getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of hand. But I'm just very happy that our boys are focused on just getting the result the right way.
Yeah.
Sometimes penalties, like sometimes okay, like the one that happened against West Ham, the guy fouled him by outside the box. He fell into the box, and people are not like, okay, yeah, but they gave you that one, so why are you complaining? And I'm like, what
Hmm.
do you mean? Why am I complaining? It was within
Yeah.
the rules of the game. if you look at what happened in the other games that we played against us, we've had penalties that we considered for worse scenarios than what they've done. So you telling me that a player tackled the attacker in the box, but he touched the ball afterwards, so we should have, so everybody should be okay with that. Because if you remember, you stopped the attacking play, and that's what made that Newcastle zone worse. When Pope tackled Gyökeres, Saka still had the ball. So we should have allowed him to go and score the empty net rather than pointing to the spot and denying us the chance for your VAR review. So it's just something that I'm just really tired of, but I'm just happy that
I don't know if you saw Saka's interview after the game.
oh no, I didn't. What did he say?
They asked him about the call.
Mm-hmm.
He laughed and he said it was a penalty because the guy's knee kicked him first before it touched the
Yes,
ball.
yes.
And
And
we all saw it as well. We all saw exactly what he said. We saw
yeah,
that.
it was down the replace, man. His knee hit Saka on the knee in the box before
Yeah.
his leg touched the
So
ball.
now they're doing it. He touched the ball and then kicked him. What kind of nonsense is that?
No, it's pathetic, bro. It's pathetic.
I was
So
so
look,
pissed, but
no, it was really messed up.
I'm
So at
happy
least,
these boys listen to. I felt as if they listen to me because I remember in the beginning of
yeah,
this season, I said, let's play this season. I don't want any VAR excuse. I don't want any ref excuse. All those things.
yeah.
People, other fans be trolling us, as victims of this. That's just for they'll say is gender or we're always making up excuses. Let's just play
Mhm.
and win our game and forget about VAR.
Yeah,
And
straight up. And I really love that about the team right now. We are very, very focused. In our last, since we lost to Liverpool in August, we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and we've won 7 out of those 8, considering just 2 goals to Newcastle and Man City. Then, of course, the Liverpool loss. So right now, we are focusing on the right things, which makes a whole lot of sense. So we are 3 points ahead of Man City. We are on plus 12 goal difference. They are on plus 11. Haaland, of course, is in the form of his life. But there will certainly be a point when Man City will play Liverpool. And I think the week Man City is playing Liverpool, that's on the 9th of November. We
uh
are going to play Sunderland. So that will be an opportunity for us to further widen the gap and all that. Okay, so let's quickly just touch on our next opponents. This is Atletico Madrid. So far in the Champions League, we've played 2 games. Athletic Club we won 2-0. Olympiacos we also won 2-0. And Atletico Madrid is one team that is going to be very hard for us. You know how Diego Simeone defends. So what's your take on that game?
That game is going to be a really hard game. And I'm looking forward to it because it's the first time I'm going to see an attacking team. Okay, I know Simeone sometimes played defensively when he meets uh, another attacking team, but against Liverpool, they didn't really defend. They came out maybe because they felt like Liverpool are not as strong as before, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping because Arsenal always plays way lot better when the team is attacking and not backing the bus. So
Mhm.
it's a very good test. That game will tell me how far we'll go in that Champions League.
True, true. Sure, we thought that we still have Inter and Bayern Munich to come in the future. But this is one of the hardest
Exactly.
teams, so I'm really happy
Yeah.
to. And one important thing was that leaving this game against Fulham, there were no injuries. So that's also a
I
plus.
know. You can exactly imagine.
Yeah,
This,
but okay, so roughly, what would be your lineup for the game against Atletico?
see now with that exit thing, I don't know with the whole team. Like I was telling you earlier, but I understand because let's say we scored 3 goals, or probably would have subbed off almost half of the team.
Yeah,
So the team looks tired. Hopefully, they can get some very good rest and minor training
training ahead of the game.
tomorrow on Monday. Yeah. So Atletico, it's gonna be a very hard game. So, but I think Arteta might start Mourinho in that game.
But we're at
And
home. Shouldn't you go with Izzy at home?
I'm telling you from how he played to that, I thought I might start Merino and put Eze on the left. Is
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea at all, man. That's not a bad
yeah,
idea.
because I thought I might want to play safe first and then see how the game goes and then make
Yeah, yeah.
changes.
And that is pragmatic approach he likes taking
Very,
with big matches. Yes.
yeah. So we'll
It's
see
tiring
on Tuesday.
sometimes, but it's what it is. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so we're done. Okay, thanks so much for being with me this evening for the live match reaction stream. Good to know that we are currently at the top of the table. Any parting comments from you?
Mm, I mean, it's good that we had the win today. It's not always going to be that pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like today. So I'm glad that we're holding up. We have the depth to manage the pressure of being on top. Because being on top is not easy, man. The pressure feels like it's extra when you're on top,
Yeah, yeah.
than when you're sitting second or third.
Or
You're not
chasing.
playing under that pressure. But yeah, so now Man City is after us, Liverpool is after us. So Chelsea, mm, I don't know. They're trying, but they have
Yeah,
too many injuries. Too
true,
many.
true.
So I understand completely. So hopefully our boys can maintain this first position. If you see, remember, um, next 5 games, only Atletico and we have Palace and we have um,
Okay,
Brighton,
so
right?
yeah, yeah. So it's Atletico, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Burnley, Slavia Prague.
Yeah, Burnley and those other ones, Sunderland and Spurs, those ones I'm not worried. Talking about Brighton, I'm glad we're playing them at home.
Yeah, those guys, they are so scary away. And Welbeck is also in some very good form as well.
Yeah, and Crystal Palace, Arsenal always find a way to beat Palace
Mm-hmm.
because they're not like a defensive side too, but they're not that good. But this season, today they were supposed to win, but they drew
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That late
They
chance
can't.
that
They almost lost today, but they came back like
yeah,
chance
no, no, no. So
last
they are
minute to
yeah.
score the equalizer
With
penalty.
a penalty, yes, from John Philip Mateta,
I
Bournemouth.
again against
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. So so they've lost their mojo a little bit. So I know because they're playing the same team back over and over, no break.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
first
and
11.
you also have games in the Conference League as well. I don't really have the kind of
Exactly.
depth to
Yeah,
navigate it.
they're going to play conference before we play them.
Mm-hmm.
So 100%, it's a physical team. So, but I think we'll win them as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
by a lot of goals because they're conceding a lot of goals. So
Oh, yeah, they actually are.
yeah, so the only Brighton is the only team now worried a bit, but I feel that we will win all those games.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think the Brighton game will have to have some kind of rotation because you can't use the same squad to keep playing all these games that are
Can
coming
you
to
imagine to use the same first 11 to play all these games?
no, you run them ragged. You need to keep
Exactly.
them fresh. You need to keep them fresh.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much, okay? And of course, thanks for everyone that was in the chat today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for being part of this match reaction. We'll see you
Okay,
in the next.
boss. All right. Have a good
Take
rest of your weekend.
you too, bro. And let's enjoy the Liverpool versus Man United game at the
I'm
top.
looking forward to that game with my whole winching
Hate
for
watch.
Liverpool. I'm
Yeah.
supporting Liverpool. My wife is a Man U fan, so
Oh, okay. So
so
you're going to be very conflicted because you're going to do a hate watch for Liverpool, but at the same time, your wife is Man U fan.
100%, yeah. You know.
Oh, it's
So
all good.
hopefully, yeah. All right, boss.